10 years ago, when I founded Stampede, I was really determined to fix the problem of poor quality guest Wi-Fi within the hospitality space. And as that journey has progressed, we've really nailed down on, breaking lots of things, fixing lots of things, and getting to the crux of the issue. And for this future generation of technology, it actually hinges on having really robust, capable networks. And at the moment, the technology just doesn't really exist in order to be able to provide the experience that the guests are expecting when they're in venue. And that's because they're used to a lot of these products and services in their own lives getting astronomically better over the last 10 years. Whereas for a lot of these businesses, they haven't invested in the infrastructure that's required to meet the guest at where they're at. I've actually been obsessed with networks for my entire adult life. I am that sad guy. Yeah. Looking at where the access points are, where the networks are, how everything communicates with each other, because I think that the networks actually unlock something else, which is like connectivity. And once everybody's connected, you can then start doing a whole load of other things. So I see the potential in the networks. People massively underestimate the opportunity that sits behind a proper guest Wi-Fi setup. People think that when it's not working, that's because it's slow or maybe the customer doesn't get connected, but it's actually a much bigger challenge than that, because if you don't get it right, you're missing an opportunity to learn more about your guests, you're missing an opportunity to enrich your CRM, and you're also missing the ability to create a magical moment with that guest while they're in the venue. And so rather than blowing them away, you really just let them down, and that's not what it should be about. What was broken about how guest Wi-Fi works within hospitality is actually not really the technology, but it's more how the technology has been deployed over the last 2 decades. And at the moment, there is no ownership from these venues of how their network works. The responsibility is often devolved to a third party, and sometimes that third party might not even have an ongoing contract with the venue that they're supposed to be looking after. And that means that when it comes to, wanting to put in lots of great technology, you're actually blocked by a lot of the human factors that shouldn't be there. Our proprietary solution, the SNAPguard, actually allows any operator to deploy a really sophisticated guest network by literally snapping one of these boxes onto your guest network. I wanted to build a solution that would allow us to take full control over the guest experience within a hospitality business. I wanted to be able to serve content locally so that the experience felt really fast. I wanted it to be really easy for operators to set up. So all they have to do is plug it into one of their managed switches, and it immediately tunnels itself up to a Stampede server using a VPN tunnel. That means that we don't have to do any port forwarding or remote access. We wanted it to be really safe, so we actually deploy Stampede SSL certificates onto this device. And when all of those things come together, we can then provide a much more reliable, fast experience to customers that ultimately feels like nothing that they've ever experienced before. This unlocks a much more relaxed environment where an operator is able to have full visibility of what's happening on their network. For guests, they have this transcendent experience where they can now connect in under 1 second. And it also doesn't cost the earth. So if you have a really large old network estate that maybe requires a £500,000 capital expenditure renovation, this box actually brings you the capability of, cutting edge technology in 2026 that you can retrofit onto your tech from the 90s. So it really solves a lot of these critical issues.